Hello guys, it's Berserker Plays Games, Berserking Games, and I'm gonna be doing the second part of the Truth Hurts, the creepypasta of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and again, I don't own any of the pictures, but I do own the gameplay. So, thank you all, and hope you enjoy. The screen panned to Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Fox. As soon as they awoke, Peach began to cry. Mario froze, his eyes wide, and lifted his hand to his face. A faint red glow rose from his hand. He was burning himself. Luigi started breaking his own legs. All I heard was the dull popping noise of his snapping his bones from the ankles up. He screamed and cried. Fox was the last to realize what was happening. He ripped off his ear and sunk his teeth into his arm, biting harder and harder until he hit an artery. Then he sat back, his wonder as blood gushed from his wound and trickled down his head from where he'd torn off his ear. Peach slowly pulled out her pink umbrella and pushed the handle into her eye socket. Her lips curved in an O shape, but she made no sound. With a hard jerk of her arm, she forced the handle all the way in and then pulled it back out. Chunks of pink and red oozed out of the fresh wound, and I realized that she had ripped out her brains. A terrifying laugh sounded in the background, like Ganondorf's, but higher in the pitch. The normally black subspace around them pulsed red for a moment. Another text box. Warriors will die, always with pride, thinking themselves martyrs. I made them kill themselves. I made them save themselves. In the minute following this chilling message, I saw short clips of various others dying horribly. Bowser clawed his own face off and rubbed the fleshy meat that was once his muscle on his spiked bracelets, further disfiguring himself. Donkey Kong pulled on his tie until his face turned purple and his eyeballs bulged from his head. Mr. Game & Watch dragged himself across the floor on his face, wearing away black pixels and littering the ground with them. Rob tore out his wiring. Olimar smashed his own helmet in and took a deep breath of oxygen. His head exploded. Meta Knight sliced off his arm, shoved it down his throat, and choked on it. Falco ripped out his own feathers and pecked vigorously at his belly, as if they were food, until he tore open a hole, and then began to feed on his stingy muscles and sinew underneath. Pikachu scratched at his underside with his back legs until his soft fur gave away and all of his organs came spilling out. He then proceeded to roll as I watched my favorite character die with increasing disgust. I couldn't help but cry. Finally, the camera zoomed in on Mario. He'd eventually burned his face to a crisp and fell over with a sickening thump. His blackened skin began to flake away, eventually revealing the bleeding muscle underneath. My attention was returned to Kirby, who was becoming more hysterical by the second. He started to vomit. In between his puking, I heard him gasp for breath, his lungs straining between screams and sobs as he retched. A minute later, he laid down, choking, and died too. The screen faded to white. Slowly, an image of Sonic came on the screen. His face was frozen in terror. His pupils were dots in his eyes. Taboo floated a couple feet away, looking pleased. "Wouldn't it be easier to end your own misery now?" he asked smugly. A single tear slipped down Sonic's cheek, and his mouth slowly opened, revealing his teeth. I flinched back and dropped my controller. In horrifying detail, I saw that Sonic's teeth were worn down to mere nubs. Blood bubbled out from the open cavities within his enamel, and the roots protrude out of those holes. The sight of the sensitive nerves touching each other made me cringe. He started screaming, one long scream after another, never getting any quieter, hardly stopping for breath. I muted my television and sobbed loudly, hoping my parents would hear and come downstairs to force me to stop watching this nightmare. Sonic reached up. "Please, God, no," I screeched. He began ripping out his roots. I bit harder on my tongue and accidentally bumped the remote, unmuting the TV. And though I didn't watch, I heard snapping noises, and his screams became wails of agony. So high-pitched and grating, I curled in on myself and bawled like a baby. The sound cut off, but I didn't dare open my eyes. Finally, my stepdad came barreling down the stairs, demanding that I shut up. I noticed my crying. He shook me. What's wrong? Why are you crying? I steeled myself and slowly calmed down, then leaned forward to hug him, sobbed like a 5-year-old. Jesus, what's gone into you? He asked. Even though I'm 17, he picked me up and began carrying me to my room. I looked over his shoulder at the screen, where there was one last text box that read, "The truth hurts." Well, that's it, guys. That was the Truth Hurts Creepypasta Part 2 and the finale. And I gotta say, I like this creepypasta. I actually do like it. I had to heavily edit because I was interrupted, but nothing more than that. I really gotta say thank you guys, even those 7 people that watch my videos. I really appreciate it. It's something that keeps me going, because I could just say I want to stop and that's it, but I really don't. And so thanks to you guys, I'm making this video. And yeah, subscribe, leave a like, and I guess I'll see you guys some other time. And remember, never stop playing. Bye.